If you want your next diet to be the perfect fit, it only needs to pass one test. What's up guys, Coach Carissa here. Welcome to our channel. This channel is all about helping real women lose real weight by uncovering the fact that your breakthrough really only lies at the intersection of the actions you take and the beliefs that you hold, which is just our fancy way of saying that you can't only concern yourself with the physical actions you're trying to take, like how you're eating, how you're moving, things like that, but you also need to get a grip on what's going on with you internally so you can stop self-sabotaging, stop falling back to your old habits, and stop having to start over and over and over again. So enjoy this week's lesson and subscribe for more. I'm super excited about tonight's lesson. I've been talking to a lot of women lately about sustainability. A lot of people right now are kind of trying some fad diets and trying to like do keto and do IF and then beating themselves up for not being able to adhere to it. So I wanted to talk tonight about maximizing sustainability. I know a lot of you guys are really busy right now, so I think this is a really good topic. So all of you guys have tried diets before in the past. Most of you have tried many, many diets. So basically, the reason you stop doing a diet for one reason or another is usually some form of being unsustainable, correct?
Yeah.
You feel like you're kind of on track or off track or white-knuckling or adhering to something you can't wait to be done with, right? So my point tonight is, would it not stand to reason that if you truly pursued a way of eating or a way of exercising or a way of behaving that felt most like you, but it also allowed you to become healthier, leaner, and stronger each week, would that not be literally the most sustainable position or situation possible? You'd no longer be off track or on track. You'd just be living your life. And there's no getting off that track. There's no more restarts. There's no more backsliding. There's no white knuckling. So if you pursued maximum sustainability in the choices you make, when you make changes to your life, you'd no longer be doing a diet or behaving a certain way for a certain amount of time to achieve a certain outcome, like we kind of talked about last week, or trying to do something as long as you can until you can finally go back to the way you really want to behave. Instead, you'd be crafting a lifestyle that resulted in the health and the body that you want. You'd be transforming and evolving so deeply that there'd be nothing to go back to. And all of this is possible, in my opinion, through prioritizing sustainability. This has been one of the most rich lessons in my personal experience, and I wanted to share with you guys and dive really deep into this tonight. So I defined some stuff last week, and I think that was super helpful to really get clear on what words mean, right? So sustainability means to maintain, support, or endure. So let me ask you this. Show of hands or drop it in the chat. Do you want to be healthy? Yes. How long? Hopefully for life, right? Then you must maintain, support, and endure the behaviors required to maintain and support good health for as long as you want to have it. Most of you here for weight loss as well.
Yeah.
How long do you want to lose that weight for?
Ever.
For good, right? So does it not make sense that you need to maintain, support, and endure the behaviors required to maintain and support that healthy weight for as long as you want to have it? You get the picture. Yes. So when you decide you want to transform your health in your body, I think it would benefit you to do so in a way that prioritizes sustainability and plans for the future that you want to live into, which in my opinion renders most of the diets out there ill-fitted for most of the population. I didn't say they wouldn't work. They're just ill-fitted for most people. As in they're the perfect fit for some people, but not for others. So whether it's a good fit for you is up to you to decide. So how do you decide? That's the framework of decision-making I want to give you all tonight. Anytime you want to make a change to your life, your health, your body, ask yourself, how long do I want to keep the result of this change? If you want to keep it for years or decades or life, you must prioritize sustainability so the changes you make are there to stay. So when it comes to that behavior you want, or that habit you want, or that routine, or that change, ask, how long do you want to maintain that? How long do you want to support that? How long do you want to endure that behavior, that diet, that habit, that routine, or that change? Could you do it for a year? Could you do it for 10 years? Could you do it for life? If not, add in sustainability, modify it, adjust it, personalize it to make it more sustainable until you can answer yes confidently. Few examples. If you don't want to cut out sugar for the rest of your life, or chocolate, or bread, or cheat meals, then don't cut any of that out for 3 months, 6 months, a year in order to lose some weight. Why? Because for one, you're going to waste all of that time not developing a good relationship with sugar or dessert or carbs or cheat meals. And two, you're going to be employing a temporary change, which puts you at risk for temporary results, like we dove into last week. Would it not be so much better, so much easier to fine-tune your lifestyle to make the changes you intend to keep? So the results that you get from making those changes are not only there to stay, but fully in alignment with the lifestyle you actually want to live long term. Said another way, if you like carbs, don't try keto. Don't try intermittent fasting if you want to be able to eat at any hour of the day, or if you hate being hungry for long periods of time. Nobody is sentencing you to those unsustainable prisons but yourself. There's so many other ways to lose weight. Instead, fine-tune your lifestyle and only make changes you intend to keep, so the results that you get from making those changes are there to stay and in alignment with the lifestyle you want to live into. Is there going to be learning curves? Of course. But you're investing in a future that you're eventually going to have everything so dialed and so subconscious that your natural self-expression is going to be fully in alignment with the level of health that you want, with the lean, strong, able body that you want. It's so worth the effort because you're putting in effort either way. Does that upfront investment of effort take more time? Maybe. But so does being on track and then off track and then white-knuckling it and then being off track again and then falling off track and falling back on track. You can spend years there, decades there, taking one step forward, 2 steps back. The truth is, the slow, boring way is the fast way in the long run when it comes to permanent transformation. So I want to unpack this completely tonight and give you that sustainability framework that I mentioned. So obviously, to lose weight and significantly transform your body, you're going to have to restrict calories at some point. So big picture here for a second. Some of this might feel redundant, but I hope it clicks in a new way tonight. What we don't advise is hopping from restriction to restriction to restriction and staying in a restricted state for longer than 12 or so weeks at a time. That's what we call the diet cycle. You can spend years there making no progress because you're never preparing for a diet or recovering from one. That cycle slowly destroys your metabolism and your hormone function over time. So if you're hopping from diet to diet to diet to diet to diet and you're not seeing meaningful results, you don't need a new diet. You need a different process. Everyone here is aware of that process, the fat loss cycle. When you sync your efforts with your body's natural fat loss cycle, you're working with your body rather than against it. That 3-step process is not a diet. Phase 1, you prepare for the caloric restriction, prime your metabolism for fat loss. Phase 2, you implement the calorie restriction with a start and an end date to lose body fat. And then phase 3, you exit that calorie restriction, restore your metabolism, and maintain your results. That process in itself is sustainable because it makes sure your metabolism and your hormone function is not impacted negatively, and it can withstand the test of time because you can repeat that fat loss cycle as many times as you need to until you've lost all the weight you want to lose. Once you're at your goal weight, you simply continue maintaining while you work on your next fitness goal or your next ambition. That process must be followed in order to lose weight predictably and permanently. So if you're committed to that process, and I hope you are, you're far ahead of most. But you still must learn how to restrict calories in phase 2. So that's what people have a lot of false beliefs about and make things unsustainable when they don't need to be. We recommend restricting calories in the most non-restrictive and flexible way possible so you can maximize sustainability. So that what you eat in your everyday life really shouldn't change all that much when you restrict calories. All that's really changing are the proportions and the totals. So as you guys know, we specifically do this through tracking macros, habit stacking, and eventually graduating to intuitive eating. But some people still insist that there's some magic to the restriction of keto or restricting calories through IF. But when it comes to weight loss, I say restriction is restriction. It's just packaged up in different wrapping papers. There are specific health benefits to fasting or restricting yourself from certain food sources, maybe going animal-based, maybe going high-fat, maybe avoiding certain foods, certain food groups. But when it comes to just weight loss, there's far more, those diets are far more restrictive than necessary because the restriction of calories, period, is already restrictive by nature. So it's often just overkill to take out whole food groups or add in fasting unless there's a specific reason to. If there's no specific reason, it just makes things harder than they need to be. So all that to say, if you don't have to choose keto if you don't want to. You don't have to choose intermittent fasting if you don't want to. All the diets out there are just options. And it's your job to choose the most sustainable one for you specifically. For some people, IF or keto or the OMAD diet or carnivore, those sometimes to some people are the most sustainable options for their lifestyle, genuinely. But what about you? How do you choose? If you want your next diet to be the perfect fit, it only needs to pass one test. It must be personally sustainable. So how do you guarantee it's personally sustainable? It must pass one requirement. It must allow you to withstand the test of time. So how do you ensure this? It's simple. You must enjoy what you're doing so you're not white-knuckling it, waiting for it to be over. If you don't want it to be over, it won't end. It doesn't have to. And there's only one way to do that. Make one non-negotiable agreement with yourself. Don't do something for 10 days that you wouldn't do for 10 years. We say that all the time, but this concept might go against the grain. I think the number one key to reaching your weight loss goal and unlocking a level of health and wellness you never even knew existed all boils down to one thing: knowing thyself. So what do I mean by that? Simply this: you must know what you like and know what you don't like, and then honor and defend those core values and choices. So I'll give you an example. Again, beating a dead horse here, but if you love your carbs, like me, don't consider keto because you're gonna have to cut out virtually all carbs. If that sounds miserable to you, it probably will be. If I told you you had to do that for 10 years and the thought of that makes you wanna cry, then it's not a good fit and it never will be. So don't do it, not even for a day. If you wouldn't do it for 10 days, don't for 10 years, don't do it for 10 days. Make sense? I've tried most of the diets out there. And what I discovered was I didn't like many of them as far as a lifestyle was concerned because I know myself. I like to eat any and all foods when I want to, how I want to, where I want to, when I want to. And that's okay. I chose to reach all my goals while honoring those preferences. And guess what happened? I found a way because there's always a way. I reached my goals and I loved every second of the journey, whether it was winning a powerlifting meet, an off-road race, or competing in international bodybuilding competitions. And then I took it a step further and built my life around those values. I never sacrificed them again. And doing that unlocked a level of wellness and vitality and happiness that I didn't know existed. And it's been my absolute honor to help other women do the same. I believe you can and should reach your goal while eating all your favorite foods and enjoying flexibility, enjoying the world, fully honoring your values and your preferences and your ideal lifestyle. It just takes a little bit of self-reflection on your part and then an unwavering commitment to that self-reflection once you know what you want and what you don't. And it starts with clarity. So today, this week, make a list of your non-negotiables like I did way back when. How often do you want to eat out? How many cheat meals per week do you want? What foods do you never want to sacrifice? What foods do you want to live without? How do you want to be able to eat on a vacation? Or what do you want your family dinners to be like? Get it all on paper. And if you're working with me directly, send me your list. Forget what you think you know and just dream for a moment about your ideal lifestyle. Something that would make you excited. And we can put all our time and effort into handcrafting that perfect lifestyle, because there's always a way to reach your health goals while honoring those preferences and what's important to you. If I can do it, so can you. We're going to be spending time and energy handcrafting something. So it might as well be your dream life, right? So let this be day one of your journey to you handcrafting your lifestyle blueprint, the one you never need a break from, and the one that results in the health and the body that you desire and want for life. It's your job to self-reflect and get clear on your non-negotiables. And it's our job together to find the way, and then you get to live it out. Thank you so much for watching. We truly hope you enjoyed that lesson. So every single week we make room for one guest spot on these support calls. So if you'd like the opportunity to attend, ask questions, receive coaching, just hit the link in the description box, or you can head over to gainslinger.com/coach me. Once again, that's Gainslinger, GAINSLINGER.com/coach me, all one word. Have a blessed day and we'll see you next week.